In the world of marketing and advertising, understanding the marketing funnel is, in my view, the single most important aspect of driving sales and nurturing customer relationships. So, if you've ever wondered how to effectively turn a total stranger into a loyal customer, you're in the right place. Today, I'm going to cover what a marketing funnel is, why it's so important, and how you can utilize this important framework in your efforts. We'll also cover key elements that make the marketing funnel you build successful. So, whether you're a small business owner, a marketing professional, or just someone who's curious about how it all works, stick around as we deep dive into the art and science of marketing funnels. I'm Nathan Disk, your strategy sidekick, and without further ado, let's jump into it. So, before we dive into how you can build and utilize a marketing funnel to drive more sales, we need to first level on what a marketing funnel actually is. So, I'm going to break it down into its simplest form so we can build it back up and give you the knowledge you need to create an effective strategy. In short, a marketing funnel is just a strategic framework to describe a customer's psychological relationship with your brand. It allows you to visualize the customer journey of a large set of consumers, from the initial awareness of your product or service to the purchase and beyond. In its simplest form, the funnel is broken up into three main sections. Each section represents an important point in the customer's journey with your brand. These three main sections are awareness, consideration, and conversion. Some depictions of the marketing funnel have an additional layer that includes customer loyalty, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So, as consumers draw closer and closer to making a purchase, they will travel through the natural customer journey represented as stages of the funnel. First, they will become aware that your brand exists. From there, they will consider or show intent on making a purchase. And finally, they will convert into paying customers. Let's take an example of the ideal consumer. You know, the one that actually follows through and makes a purchase? Well, initially, that consumer has no idea that your product or service even exists. They're just going about their day, sad, lonely, and heartbroken because they need your brand to step in and save their day. Well, eventually, through some form or another, they discover your brand and the value that you have to offer them. In other words, they gain awareness of you. Once they're aware of you and realize they have a need for your product or service, they will consider making a purchase, and they maybe show some intent signal like adding a product to their cart or reaching out to your representative. Regardless, they know your product or service exists and have shown some consideration or intent in purchasing from you. And lastly, and maybe through some persuasion on your end, they actually convert or make a purchase. In many cases, this process is drawn out and could take weeks or even months to complete. In other cases, such as an impulse buy, the customer travels through this journey fairly quickly. But regardless, that journey is always present. Now, a marketing funnel just takes that concept and expands it across a larger set of people. And it's called a funnel because of the tapering number of people at each layer, with more people simply being aware of your brand than having actually purchased. There are many different depictions of a marketing funnel, some more complex than others, but by and large, they all fit into this visualization: awareness, consideration, and conversion. So hopefully that clears up what a marketing funnel actually is. But why is it so important? Well, as I hinted at before, it's a strategic framework in which you can build your marketing strategy upon. It essentially lays the groundwork for effective and persuasive communication. It allows you to systematically approach the journey that your potential customers are on, from the initial awareness of your brand to actually following through and buying from you. By understanding the psychology of consumers at each layer of the funnel, you can better tailor your strategy to be more effective at moving people through it and inevitably getting them to purchase. In other words, it helps you identify who to talk to and how to talk to them. And this is the true power of the marketing funnel. It allows you to identify where consumers are at in the customer journey so you can personalize messaging and communicate more effectively. Of course, as marketers, our ultimate goal is to always get somebody to purchase from us. But cold pitching a product or service and getting an immediate sale is a daunting task, especially if you're using something like a 6-second Instagram ad. However, if we break it down using our funnel, we can set more realistic sub goals that will eventually lead to the sale. By categorizing consumers based on their psychological relationship with your brand, we can gain more clarity on what next steps we want them to take, and even more importantly, how we can get them there. See, the way you talk to somebody who didn't even know your brand existed should be very different than how you would approach somebody who maybe is already considering making a purchase. When you're talking to somebody who didn't even know you existed, well, you're going to want to introduce yourself. Tell them what value your product or service can bring to them, or which of their problems you can help solve. This will put you on their radar and get them to consider purchasing from you. For consumers who are already considering buying but haven't yet, you'll want to speak to them a little differently. See, they have some hesitancy in purchasing. Maybe they don't quite trust the brand yet, maybe the price is too high, or heck, maybe it's even just the wrong timing. For these people, we want to ease their mind through trust enforcing testimonials, promotions, or even simply just a reminder. Lastly, for people who have made a purchase, you might want to tell them about additional or new products and services to get them to purchase again. Now, we'll go into marketing messaging a lot more in depth in a later video, but you get the point. At each stage of the journey, you need to be speaking to consumers about what will resonate with them the most. This is the true power of the marketing funnel. Through the data you gather via your website, ad platforms, or third party analytics, you can group consumers together based on where they are at in the purchase journey with your brand. Then you can deliver them personalized messaging, urging them along through the funnel to eventually make a purchase. Now, the more robust data you have, the more granular you can get with this. So, you might want to speak to somebody who's only viewed your website a little bit differently than you would to, say, somebody who's added a product to their cart. They have both shown consideration, but on different levels. So, you can fine tune your messaging to what is most effective, thereby segmenting and expanding your funnel. So, now we know why a marketing funnel is so important. Let's talk about building one. Now, I want to preface this by explaining what I mean when I say building a funnel. Since the marketing funnel is just a representation of the natural customer journey, when I talk about building a funnel, what I really mean is being intentional about our targeting, our messaging, and objectives at each stage of that journey. See, intentionality is key here, and it's really where you can start to build out your marketing strategy using the funnel as your foundation. As we previously discussed, your messaging should change based on what layer of the funnel you're targeting. So, your messaging and sales tactics are key to utilizing the marketing funnel. But targeting is really key to building the marketing funnel out. If we take a look at the top of our funnel, we can see our initial goal is to gain awareness. If we can't get them to purchase right away, we want to get them into our funnel to simply consider making a purchase. So, like we discussed before, we want to be showing them messaging that introduces our brand. But since we want to be delivering effective personalized messaging, we only want to be targeting consumers who are unaware of our brand at this stage. So, to the best of our ability, we can exclude the people who have already shown interest or interacted with us on some level. This could be visiting the website, viewing a product, or engaging with your brand in some other way. For the middle of the funnel, we want to only be targeting folks who have shown intent but not purchased. And for the people who have already purchased, we want to be building loyalty. So, we only want to be targeting them with that messaging. We'll dive a lot deeper into how to identify, target, and segment audiences in a later video. But on the most basic level, we want to be targeting people who are unaware of the brand, people who are aware of the brand and have considered purchasing, and those who have already made a purchase separately. This way, we can best utilize our funnel with personalized messaging. Eventually, you can start to segment and refine your audiences more to even further personalize your messaging and create efficiencies. But like I said, we'll save that for another video. In terms of where you reach your audience, well, that really just depends on your business. If all businesses were the same, we'd all have the same marketing strategies, and we know that's not the case. There are a ton of different channels and ad platforms for you to get your message across through. Some businesses may have a great organic content strategy with viral content that draws a lot of people into the awareness stage. In that case, they might choose to use that as their primary top of funnel tactic and elect to retarget those users through a different channel like Meta Ads or YouTube. The point being, this is where you really get to flush out your unique marketing strategy. This could include multiple channels, all at different layers of the funnel, or it could include one channel with all the layers of the funnel within it. I generally like to opt for a multi-channeled approach, see what works best, and then refine from there. But it all really depends on what the best way to reach your audience is for your unique business and situation. So, we discussed that a marketing funnel is simply just a framework that describes where consumers are at in the purchase journey with your brand. We also discussed that the power in the funnel is to create personalized messaging at each layer to tap into the psychology of consumers, drive further engagement, and eventually sell your product or service. And we also discussed that building a marketing funnel all comes down to targeting the right people in the right place at each layer of the funnel. As you can see, the marketing funnel is a solid foundation to any marketing strategy. From there, you can build it up using specific tactics at each layer. So, start by analyzing where your current efforts are landing in the funnel and adjust them to more closely align with the specific journey your customers are on. Experiment with different approaches at each layer to find out what resonates best with your audiences. Monitor the results closely and use data driven insights to adjust your approach continuously. If you do that, you'll be sure to sell more. Hey, if you want more marketing advice, make sure to follow us and check out our other videos. And if you want personalized marketing help, hop on over to strategysidekick.com. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.